Hello，大家好，我名字叫阿赞。今天，Sorry, my name is Afzan Hakim Mekamari. As the ex-member of Chinese primary school, for my persuasive speech, I will talk about why should we send our children to Chinese primary school. Chinese primary school are known for their emphasis on academic excellence and disciplines. The educational system typically focuses on core subjects like mathematics, science, and language with an emphasis of memorization and rigorous study. This approach has led to strong performance in international assessment, showcasing the effectiveness of the Chinese education system in producing high achievers. Moreover, students often gain proficiency in Mandarin Chinese, providing them with a valuable language skill. The structure and discipline environment in Chinese primary school is believed to instill a strong work ethic on commitment to studies. On 2016, Petaling Jaya, a two-year research carried out by the National Education Advisory Council reveals that in 10 years, Chinese school may turn into mainstream school. They may even replace they may even replace national school and are likely to be more multiracial, as the number of Malay parents registering their children stands at 18% this year. Retired Council member Prof. Dr. Teo Kok Siong said national school registered only 4% non-Malay students, while the Chinese school had 18% non-Chinese students. Dr. Teo Kok Siong also said these numbers are expected to go up each year. Our research showed these vernacular schools within 10 years are likely to become the mainstream schools, as more non-Chinese parents are refusing to sign up their children in national schools. During my research, I also found that according to the report by the Ministry of Education, the number of non-Chinese students in SJKCs increased from 11.84% in 2010 to 19.75% in 2020. The ex-Minister of Education, Muhammad Razi Majidin, mentioned that the number of Chinese students studying in SJKC decreased from 88.60% in 2010 to 80.25% in 2020. Next, I will talk about the effective or the benefit that you can get if you send your children to Chinese primary school. If you are considering a Chinese primary school, potential benefits may include exposure to different language, cultural diversity, and an emphasis on academic disciplines. It is important to note that the effectiveness of Chinese primary school and individual experience may differ. Factors such as the specific school, teaching methods, and the adaptability of the child should be considered when evaluating the appropriateness of Chinese primary school education for a particular student. First, the benefit that you can get from entering Chinese primary school is language proficiency. Your child is likely to become proficient in Mandarin Chinese, providing a valuable skill given China's growing influence in the global economy. For example, language immersion. In Chinese primary schools, Mandarin is the primary language of the instruction, so students are immersed in environment where Mandarin is spoken and used extensively, providing constant exposure to the language. For example, During my experience in primary school, we often greet the teacher and also talk or learn certain subjects in English, such as math, science, and any kind of subject uh, other than English and Malay. Next, language supportive environment. Being surrounded by peers and teaching who communicate in Mandarin create a supportive language environment. Students may find themselves using Mandarin not only during formal lesson but also in social interaction while reinforce their language development. This environment can help students to improve their Chinese language during the class session, whether out of the class session. Next, the second point is cultural diversity. Exposure to Chinese culture from an early age can foster cross-cultural understanding and appreciation. For example, broadening perspective. Learning about Chinese customs, tradition, history, and value broadens students' perspective. It fosters an appreciation for diversity and helps students understand different culture, norms, and practices, contribute to a more open-minded and tolerant worldview. Next, cultural competence. Exposure to Chinese culture helps students develop cultural competence, enabling them to navigate and communicate effectively in a Chinese cultural context. This is increasingly valuable in a globalized world where cross-cultural interactions are common. For example, during this era of globalization, some of companies are looking for someone who can have different type of extra skills, and being for having a multi-language, as for example Malay, English, and Chinese. These will help uh, some people easy to have a job for this kind of work, and this thing will help uh, any kind of people to also respect other culture and make them easy to find job. Next, academic disciplines. Chinese schools are often emphasize academic rigor, which can contribute to strong work habit and discipline. For example, teaching time management. Academic discipline often involve effective time management skills. Students learn to prioritize tasks, set deadlines, and allocate time wisely, which is beneficial not only for academic but also for life skill. Next, building a foundation for future education. The academic discipline instill a Chinese primary school provide students with a solid foundation for future education. It prepares them for the challenges of higher academic level and professional pursuit. During my research, Natasha Q, who also a non-Chinese student who attend Chinese school, said that I really hate it initially because I was super lost. I didn't understand what everyone else was saying. It definitely helped me a lot knowing an additional language, and it's fun when other people are shocked that I can speak Chinese. Next is Ezra Prithvi, who attend a Chinese school in Subang Jaya. She said, but as the years go by, I made more friends and adapt to a new culture. It made me feel good because I believe it adds to my personality, such as tolerance and the will to adapt and try new things. The last one, Hani Farah, who attend Chinese schools in Seremban. Her mom believed that attending a Chinese school will improve his discipline and educational. She said the toughest part of Chinese school was the amount of homework I had every day. but it was good training as I do see myself being more disciplined when I'm working. For conclusion, whether a Chinese school, primary school is the best choice depends on various factors, including personal value, educational goals, and the needs of the child. While Chinese primary school offers certain advantages, it's essential to consider the potential challenges and ensure that the educational approach aligns with the individual learning style and preference of the student. Ultimately, the best school is one that provides a supportive and effective learning environment for the specific needs and aspirations of each student. So that's all for me. So do you think that you should send your children to Chinese primary school? That's all from me. Thank you.